For over 3,000 years, beneath the burning sun and shifting sands of Egypt, the dead were not simply buried. They were transformed. Every cut, every ritual, every layer of linen served a purpose, because one mistake could mean losing eternity itself. Egyptians praying. To the Egyptians, death was not the end. Inside dimly lit temples, priests and worshippers prayed to gods, performing rituals to protect the soul. Each hieroglyph and torchlight shadow carried meaning. Every gesture was meant to guide the departed safely on their journey. Soul symbols: Ka, Ba, Ach. The soul was not one entity, but many. The Ka, the Ba, and the Ach. Each needed the body to survive. If the physical form decayed, the soul could never reunite. Egyptians believed only through careful preservation could the soul achieve eternal life. Choosing the dead. Mummification was a privilege. Only those who could afford it received full rituals. Priests examined each body carefully, preparing it for preservation. Status and wealth determined whether the soul would survive or fade away. Brain removal. The first step in mummification was removing the brain. Though shocking to us, Egyptians believed the heart, not the brain, held intelligence. The brain was extracted through the nose, while the heart remained, because it was vital for judgment in the afterlife. Organs removed. Canopic jars. Next, the lungs, liver, stomach, and intestines were removed, preserved, and placed into canopic jars. Each jar was guarded by a god, ensuring protection. These organs would be needed in the next life, and the spells around them were considered essential. Drying with natron. The body was covered in natron salt for 40 days. This natural substance absorbed moisture, preventing decay. Salt crystals glistened under torchlight as the body slowly dried. Preservation was now truly underway. Wrapping begins. Once dried, the body was wrapped in layers of linen. Priests placed protective amulets between the wrappings. Each layer was tied carefully, with prayers and spells woven in. The wrapping itself became part of the magic guarding the dead. Amulets placed. Amulets like scarabs, the Eye of Horus, and other sacred symbols were placed on and between layers. These charms protected the dead from evil spirits and guided the soul safely. Every amulet carried meaning and purpose. Final mummy revealed. At last, the mummy was complete. Wrapped in linen and adorned with amulets, it rested on a stone platform. Torchlight illuminated the meticulous work. The body was now ready for eternity, a vessel prepared for the afterlife. Sarcophagus. At last, the mummy was placed inside a beautifully decorated sarcophagus. Hieroglyphs and painted faces marked the coffin, ensuring the soul would be recognized by the gods. This coffin served as both protection and identity for the deceased in the afterlife. Tomb goods. Around the sarcophagus, food, jewelry, furniture, and statues were placed. Even servant figurines were included to serve the dead in the afterlife. Every object had a purpose, preparing the deceased for a life beyond this world. Opening of the mouth ritual. Before the tomb was sealed, priests performed the opening of the mouth ritual. Using sacred tools, they touched the mummy's lips, restoring its ability to eat, speak, and breathe. Only after this could the soul begin its journey. Journey through Duat. The soul entered the Duat, the Egyptian underworld. Dark rivers, dangerous creatures, and trials awaited. The soul had to navigate carefully, guided by spells and rituals, to reach eternal life. Weighing of the heart. In the Hall of Judgment, the heart was weighed against the feather of truth. If it was light, free from sin, the soul could continue. If heavy, weighed down by misdeeds, it would be destroyed. Only the pure-hearted survived. Eternal paradise. Those deemed worthy entered eternal life. Lush fields, calm rivers, and abundant food welcomed the soul. The afterlife mirrored the world they had known, but untouched by time, decay, or suffering. Tomb sealed. The tomb was finally sealed. The mummy and its treasures were left in silence, guarded by spells and sacred symbols. Time would pass, but the dead were meant to remain undisturbed for eternity. Tomb robbers. Not all tombs remained untouched. Over centuries, thieves disturbed sacred resting places, stealing gold, jewelry, and treasures. Even the most carefully prepared tombs could fall victim to human greed. Thousands of years pass. Over millennia, deserts shifted, kingdoms fell. and sand slowly reclaimed the tombs. What humans had built faded, but beneath the dunes, mummies and treasures remained, silently preserved for future discovery. Modern discovery. Archaeologists eventually uncovered tombs sealed for thousands of years. They discovered mummies and artifacts astonishingly preserved. Science now studies these ancient remains to learn what faith and ritual had protected for centuries. Unwrapped mummy. Museum display. Today, mummies are studied in museums and laboratories. Every wrappings, amulet, and artifact tells a story of ancient beliefs, rituals, and hopes. These preserved bodies connect the living with civilizations long gone. What remains? Bones, jewelry, and ceremonial objects remain as reminders of the past. They reveal humanity's oldest fears and hopes and the lengths people went to preserve life beyond death. Mummies are history, not horror. Meaning of mummification. Mummification reflected humanity's desire to conquer death. These rituals ensured the soul could survive beyond the body, offering eternal life. They show the ingenuity, devotion, and beliefs of a civilization obsessed with eternity. If this story fascinated you, subscribe to learn more. The dead still have secrets to tell, and this story does not end here. Every tomb and artifact holds mysteries waiting to be uncovered. If this story kept you watching, leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe.